All right. Welcome to Speed Game 2. We have here the second race between Idle and foosda in a multi-category tournament. This race will be GT Classic. So there's a debug code left in the game when it was released that gives you all the items for free, and it also gives you a load of ammo and energy. This is known as the GT code because it occurs in Gold Torizo's room. If you enter Gold Torizo's room and hold all four face buttons, A, B, X, Y, during the door transition, it activates the debug code, and you get all the items for free, and you get a bunch of energy and a bunch of ammo. Um, Once we discovered this code existed in the game, we made a whole category centered around it where you just run for that room as fast as you can to get all the items, and then after that, you go kill all the bosses before finishing. But we wanted this to be different from 80%, though it goes into its own category. So this is GT Classic. There's also GT Max, where you use that code and then go collect a bunch of extra items and ammo to have a maximum percent of 135%. All right, so foosda has a cleaner stairs escape, mostly in the elevator room, and gets out a little bit ahead of Idle. The serious steam is kind of messy to deal with. It it feels like the elevator room is on a cycle that's timed to how long it takes you to fall down from getting hit and jump back up. So that once you take one hit, it lines you up to take another hit when you immediately jump back up. So you end up having to wait for the cycle to fit between the steams. I think foosda might actually be an old enough player that he's not using Moonwalk intentionally. I didn't notice that before. Seeing them go down that climb without the moonfall now, I'm realizing it might be the case. So Idle goes on top of construction zone because he doesn't have angle down, so he has to use a slightly different strat there. We're practically synced going up the elevator, so. GT Classic is a pretty short category, so you gotta look for every opportunity to open the gap that you can find, so. Idle is looking to pick up the win in this category. Even if Idle wins this race, he can't move on to the bracket stage. All he can do is prevent foosda from having a chance at the bracket stage. But you still want to fight to win. Yeah, foosda using the center of room bomb torso strat because it doesn't require moonwalk. foosda getting a little bit ahead in that bomb torso fight. Because we're going to be getting a lot of stuff for free, we're not going to be picking up a whole lot on the way. We're just going to be picking up one of each ammo, probably skipping charge since it's not required. This energy tank is useful. You need at least one energy tank to get through Lava Dive.
Hey, Kai. Have we gotten to the good part yet?
Nope. We're still in the bad part.
No, sorry about that. I had some IRL stuff to take care of, so thanks for taking care of things. So far, runners look like they're pretty close.
Yeah, they were synced up until Bomb Torso. foosda got like 1 second ahead with the Bomb Torso fight. And then Idle had to do a second attempt at Alcatraz, so that opened up a little gap.
Yeah, Idle usually has a really good early game. You're good, Idle. You got 5 missiles. That's the kind of thing you want to make sure you have 5 missiles right there. And runners will usually save some energy here because it's GT Classic and they're going up Red Tower. They want to be able to do D-boost and Hellway to get through there a little bit faster. So you might see some D-boosts in, maybe some D-boosts coming out with a little bit of farm before the runners make their way down to Crade. So I'm not sure what you've talked about yet, but after the first run, we saw how close the runners were until we got to Ridley. I mean, this could be a very good match.
Yeah, this could be very close up until we get to Lava Dive and one or the other of them starts messing up Green Gate glitch time after time. So.
GT Classic is also...
It has happened.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it was in a race just last night or the night before that. I think it was P12's race. We saw some of that difficulty with the, I think it was a Green Gate glitch. So, and anybody that's played this category, definitely knows about it. It looks like both of our runners did skip Charge Beam. Some runners will pick up Charge Beam or Charge Missiles for an extra safety. Like I saw Smellin picked up Charge Missiles in his race the other day. So you do have some safety options here. But after you get through the tricky stuff, like the Lava Dive and Green Gate glitch, then it favors somebody with a more completist category kind of repertoire. You're going to see some Hundo and GT Max style movement because you're going to have a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, like this first half is like PRKD any percent, except you don't pick up the missiles or charge. But having that hero shot in Red Tower down is pretty crucial for this category because if you have to jump up and fall back down, jump up again, cost you like 6 or 7 seconds.
That is very true. So both of our runners showing good early game. Definitely want at least a sub 9 pickup here for power bombs, which is pretty good for a above average runner. Excuse me. Kind of hoping that we see some good tech right there. foosda doing some gap skips there. I feel like gap skips are hard for me. I have a really hard time doing that. I guess I don't notice gap skips as much, or I don't know if runners use them as often. I don't know. I think gap skipping is really cool movement tech in this game that doesn't get talked about enough.
I use them in pit room and sometimes in double chamber, but it's finicky.
foosda looking like we're getting a good escape there. We broke the tube at the right time. You can soft lock there if you exit the room just as you break the tube. foosda's internet having a little bit of trouble there, but looking good. And I'm watching the wrong screen again.
Turn the bit rate down. Switch to 40p and 30 FPS. And turn the bit rate down to 500 so that you'd have less problem. Hopefully it won't cut out as much, even if it's a lower frame rate.
Well, I would rather see it like this than not see it at all. So I'm pro lower bit rate.
Well, speaking of not seeing it at all,
stay tuned, folks. So, wow, we are already. Looks like we're going to have some syncing issues here. So, foosda's in Germany dealing with, as you said, German internet. So we've got a disparity here, but we can kind of keep track of where idle is in relation to foosda as long as we can see foosda's timer intermittently.
Yeah, so speaking of disparity, foosda went and picked up Kraid E-Tank.
That usually indicates that you're going to do... I would say it's a potential, but I would more expect to see just a Kraid safety tank for lava dive with no save.
Yep, he's going for boots.
So, and even with the Kraid tank pickup, this looks like... it kind of looks like foosda had trouble at Kraid to pick up the C-Tank at 1231. It's not like 100% likely, but I feel like with a Kraid quick kill, foosda would have been down here about 20 or so seconds faster.
Yeah, I don't have the times locked in on this category, so...
I could be wrong. I mean, Idle had a good Kraid fight, and Idle wasn't that far behind Andrew before. I'm really sorry if I keep confusing the people by calling foosda Andrew and Andrew foosda. Same person, I just happen to know them by two different names, and I just keep forgetting which one's current.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some sync offset on foosda's stream. So it'll be closer to idle. Hard to get a perfect sync with the skipping that we're having, but I feel like it's bad to have them a solid minute apart.
Yeah. So especially when we get to lava dive and green gate glitch, it's always better to leave it up to we kind of want to know what's going on for those. Those are what makes the category so volatile. You break spin, and if you have 3 tanks, foosda gets maybe 2 extra attempts. Idle with 2 tanks, you can do 1 extra, like not a full attempt, but like you can, if you miss a jump, you can still make it. But breaking spin is a very real threat in lava dive. So maybe foosda didn't have much trouble with Kraid because he's quite a bit ahead of Idle right now. It's 2 or 3 rooms ahead. So even though Idle's been moving really well and foosda's had his own issues, I still give foosda the movement advantage. And
Ah,
if
that
not
super
more
would have been
important, the
nice to
experience
have.
advantage.
That silver dropped a super and you're about to go farm for supers. That would have been nice to have.
They always seem to drop supers just out of reach.
Yeah, they do it when you're not going to pick up the drop, so like they know what your plan is.
So foosda's energy is okay for lava dive. Having that third tank, he can get through here faster, but I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to farm. Just opts to pick up a small energy, I guess. So this should be a very safe attempt. At least you're not too worried if you have that extra E tank. Most runners will do high jump boots with 2. Second attempt still gets the quick entrance there. That was pretty neat. Can take your time. You always think you have less time than you really do. With Varia's suit, it ticks your damage down much slower than you think, especially if you're used to running this with no suits like we saw in RBO. The trick to lava dive being successful is just being patient and not breaking spin.
Yeah. That quick entry makes a huge difference too. Like the quick entry probably is like having another half tank.
Idle doing it very well. Idle's experience in all kinds of dives. Definitely can also do bootless. Oh, misses that jump. See, now still has enough energy. Should be able to make this. It's going to be okay. There you go. So with 2 tanks, we saw Idle had that much of an extra attempt, just to give you an idea how much more time foosda would have had. And foosda's already through the green gate. Very well done. Was what, 2 supers to get through the green gate? 1 or 2 supers?
One super to get through the gate. The second super was on the door, just for fun, I guess.
Morphing in here to make sure we don't accidentally fire a shot. Also had supers selected, so Spazer turned off, GT code activated, and foosda is definitively ahead at this moment. Just imagine if all the talk we had in the last race about G3s, if we get a Fantoon skip.
Well, Idle also gets the green gate first try, so.
Yeah, Idle was on some really scary energy too. Fortunately, those rippers only do 10 damage, or is it 5 damage with Varia? Ooh, nice backup from foosda right there with the short charge.
Yeah, I'm gonna look this up.
It might be 5.
Yeah, it's 5 with Mario.
foosda taking a hit by that pirate. No big deal though. We've got full suits. We've got as many movement items as you could want, as many beams as you could want. When you do the GT code, it resets your inventory. It gives you exactly 700 energy, 100 missiles, 20 super missiles, 20 power bombs, gravity, X-ray, spring ball, plasma. I mean, it gives you everything. Spazer. It gives you pretty much everything except screw attack, which you pick up afterwards. And we won't see grapple or X-ray unless they're physically picked up or if there's a reset.
And you also have 3 reserve tanks, even though it's not showing the icon. The reserve tanks are there and are set to auto. They're just not visible right now.
Yep, once our runners go above 700, you'll see that tank fill up. I didn't happen to see if either runner turned off Varia after they did GT code. Usually that's where a lot of us will turn off Varia suit. But we got a race here, y'all. Getting GT code, first try, getting through the gate, getting through the lava dive is really great. Look at that move from foosda right there. Beautiful, beautiful string of rooms in Lower Norfair right there. Connecting those rooms with that spring ball was just absolutely beautiful. Let's go is right. Oh, I'm missing that shot.
And this is one of the less stressful Ridley fights in the tournament.
You've got a ton of energy, got plasma beam, so you're not worried about taking hits, and you've got what you need to do it fast. So it's
That
more
tail
relaxing
knocking those
than
hits
the
away, his
RBO that we
shots right
had.
there. Idle having a little bit of trouble with those pirates. It's usually where I go for microwave strats on the pirates. I have trouble on the pirates as well because I basically main RBO strats there, which are usually slower in categories like this.
Yeah. I go for microwave because that's one that I've really practiced a lot for other categories. So.
Nice reverse flower house, and look at this pirates room. Really good string of rooms, forward and backward from Wasteland and to Wasteland. D-boost there. Let's see if Andrew gets the speedball. Does. Meanwhile, Idle swiftly getting through this Ridley fight. So we're separated by enough where foosda has a comfortable lead. But we'll want to make sure that Fantoon does not give scam patterns. And of course, baby skip is always something that can separate runners in this category. This is a fast category, so Idle doesn't have a lot of time to catch up. But a lot of things will have to go his way, but it's, you know, still a race.
Tried to skip the Ridley drops, but fell down before going through the door, so didn't save as much time as he wanted to up there.
This is the perfect category for people who just love to get through the game fast with a lot of items. One of the things is this is probably, other than GT Max, the other category where you have Spring Ball for the almost the majority of the run. Not quite the majority of the run, but close to it. So it's one of the categories that you'll have Spring Ball for a fair duration of time.
So Idle didn't even go for that speedball out of Wasteland. If you
Sometimes
can't get
it's
it
better
first
to just
try,
move.
it's better to not go for it, so you go for the thing you're going to hit first try.
Yep, sometimes it's better to just keep moving forward. And I think both of our runners did break the tube, so the entry into Meridia, they can both do the faster entry into Meridia. That's pretty much why you want to break the tube earlier, because, oh, foosda getting trolled with that hole there. So it's just a little bit faster to enter Meridia with the tube broken in that way. So that's why runners will do it before the GT code. The only flag, like all the flags are still there after the GT code. The only thing the GT code does is reset your inventory. Or it doesn't necessarily reset, it just gives it a certain value. And here's where you're going to see the bulk of the microwave beam usage. We're going to microwave Batoon, we're going to microwave Dragon, and then we're going to microwave Fantoon, hopefully. So perhaps, Kai, you can explain how microwaving works, or at least the general gist of it, so our audience can understand.
So when you activate X-ray, your plasma beam stays around because it penetrates enemies, but the boss's iframes will still run out during X-ray. So you activate just long enough for the iframes to run out, and you can get an extra hit. And since the plasma beam sticks around, you can keep doing that until the boss is dead. Another thing is you saw foosda pause for just a moment.
I was just going to ask.
So Batoon's death flag is not set until that wall finishes blowing up. If you leave too fast, then Batoon doesn't actually die, and he'll come back to life when you try to exit through that room later.
I was going to say that if you hadn't mentioned that, I'm like, I wonder if Andrew paused right there just because of that reason. So just an interesting idiosyncrasy about this category. After this dragon fight, I'm kind of curious if foosda will get his namesake strat coming out of Meridia, so we'll have to look out for that. This fight should be pretty quick, so it won't be too long.
You hear that, Andrew? You gotta go for the foosball coming out.
One of my favorite strats in this category. Yeah, worth mentioning that foosda did get the halfie, did not get the full halfie, but fortunately got the top shelf halfie, was able to down grab on the ledge and keep itself moving forward, not falling down. So not lose as much time as you could potentially lose on the halfie. So it does not get the spike suit, but no big deal. We've got space jump. Probably go for the womble. Perfect. So we have a near high five for our runner. Actually, we will get a high five from our runners because we're not going to pick up plasma beam. We already have it. High five through the door.
And I think last week we actually saw somebody who had to kill Botwoon in extra time because they left too fast.
I have. I don't know if I've ever done that, but I've definitely seen it a few times. It's highly entertaining. If you know that you didn't kill Botwoon, it's faster to just go down at the sand pit.
Which we also saw somebody do last week. I believe it was the same person, Vitoil, both times.
That's
Being
fun.
too fast in category that's all about going fast. Alright, here's the foosball. Let's see it. You have to hit spring ball at just the right time coming out of that tunnel. And go all the way up to the elevator. Idle takes down that Dragon to payback for last race, I guess. Alright, foosda's entering Fantoon. This is going to be a one-round Fantoon because we're using that same microwave strat here. We have to start with the missile to start it off, otherwise Fantoon just turns invisible immediately, but after the first missile we could get to microwave Fantoon. We got a slow pattern to start off with. So our runners are just one boss apart. foosda's headed out of wreck ship and Idle's headed in. There's not a whole lot of time for Idle to make up this time. Gonna have to put on the afterburners and start moving. Once again, the high five in the doorway out of wreck ship. foosda landed and didn't get to keep his speed for space jumping across the ocean. But does get very good speed through criteria key hunters. So, foosda's going to be in G4 before Phantoon is dead for idle. Well, we got a mid pattern for idle versus the slow that foosda got.
That was going to be my question, what foosda's Phantoon pattern was. So it looks like it was a pretty solid run from both of our runners right there. No major troubles. Both got through the dive, through the gate. And then pretty much after that, it's just kind of a movement contest right there. So even with that extra crate tank pickup, Andrew's just movement advantage being just a little too much for idle right now. We have baby skip to take a look at. And after baby skip, pretty much you could soft lock at stand up. Somebody that is very experienced like foosda probably should not, but stranger things have happened. So not to jinx our runner, but we still have to get through Metroid rooms and Mother Brain. Some runners, if they miss baby skip, might opt for Crystal Flash strat, so we might see that. Meanwhile, let's see how idle exits here. I love just got into the morph ball just a little bit late for that. That moat ball strat there is one of my favorites in this category. I love that strat.
Yeah, blocked the door, so couldn't go for it. We finally see that reserve flag turn on for foosda. Yeah, in this category, you're not worried about your super drops from these Metroids because you have enough missiles to back it up if you don't get any super drops. So.
Yeah, and I'll make your Mother Brain 2 a little bit slower, but kind of makes it better still because you can get through Metroid rooms a little bit faster and not having to worry about it. And Andrew's still coming away with 13 supers, avoiding that hit, really just barely avoiding that hit from that Tuskegee right there, or that side hopper. So that's good. So foosda has a chance to go for pauseless, which is a strat you do trying to get through Mother Brain without having to pause to fill your reserves for stand-up. Near textbook boomer skip. It's going to be a good time for Andrew, potentially, or for foosda, potentially, what, a 36? Loving the speed Zeb skip. It's the second time now. Don't have to worry about turning screw attack off, although the chance for pauseless is gone.
Yeah, I think for pauseless you have to do the morph zip skip on the second zip attack.
And we're through.
Mother Brain 1 is dead, and Idle's finished up that Metroid room 1. So.
Does Idle go for Stachio skip?
I'm not sure. Idle is going with the muscle memory strats of collecting all the Metroid drops even when you don't need them.
I think a lot of us do that, especially when you're in a multi-category tournament where you have so many different loadouts you're going to enter tourney with.
Yeah, this is basically the only one where you don't care about the Metroid drops.
Is Andrew not going for stand-up? I guess not even wanting to chance a potential soft lock situation. Doesn't have Varia turned off, so Varia allows you to only get 3 tanks depleted by Mother Brain's Rainbow Beam. Power Suit or Gravity, it's going to take 6.
It looks like Andrew went and tried to turn on Grapple to have the Grapple Beam out during the Rainbow Beam. Get the extra long rainbow.
Yeah, stand up, even though I would still probably go for it. It definitely does make sense in this category. You already have a sizable lead. no sense in worrying about letting things go wrong. I think stand-up saves like roughly like 12 seconds. Not as much of a save sometimes as people think. Maybe 20 seconds at most.
Yeah.
I say that, but I lost my race to Scotty because of stand-up for North Korea percent because I don't do it. But hey, in most scenarios, it's
With this few tanks, it's more of a risk of accidentally soft locking with the left side baby than in other categories.
Oh yeah.
Because the baby fills you up so much faster. It's more likely to happen while you're still on the left side.
Ida looks like they're going for second Zeb skip. It's a strat I often get chastised by Fat Scott for not going for.
Yep. Just to have that grapple beam still selected. It doesn't do any damage to Mother Brain 3, so.
No, but it looks really cool. And Mother Brain is down, so we've got basically a mid 36, which is a very, very solid race time for GT Classic.
Looks like Idle took too much damage to have a chance at that stand-up, so... No stand-up for Idle either.
See, this is what I was wondering before, if either of them had turned Varia's suit off at the GT code. That's normally where I do it. Oh, Andrew missing a spark. Going for it again. Doing an unnecessarily short charge, but gets the job done. So really, really fine race here. And foosda is going to come away with the victory right here. Which, what does that mean for you, Kai?
That means that we'll have to go into a three-way tiebreaker race. So
that'll be exciting. I wonder if we'll get a restream for that one.
That depends on whether somebody signs up for comms. We'll
I think so, but I don't know if we have a three-person layout, so they just have to pick two.
That's a good point. LM2 is going to have to open up Photoshop and whip up a three-person layout real quick.
Just put it really small in one of the timer boxes.
So yeah, foosda, Ding, and I all have 2 wins and 2 losses from the group stage. So we have to go into a 3-way tiebreaker race. So what'll happen there is we'll each get 1 veto in a random order, and then the bot will choose a random category from whatever's left. And it'll just be 1 race. The first 2 from that tiebreaker will go on to the bracket stage, and 3rd place gets to go do something else with their summer. Well, spring.
Yeah, tournament should be very exciting. Once the bracket stage starts, we have the same format we have right here. Are going to be best out of 3s. Each runner will get a veto. Each runner will pick a category, and that's kind of how it'll play out. And I don't know if finals are going to be any different. Really, really good format for a multi-category. Gives everybody a chance to, feel like they kind of had a fair shot at it. So Ida looks like they're going to still put together a sub 40. A sub 40 GT Classic run is a really solid GT Classic run. That's a milestone number that a lot of runners will use as their first big GT Classic goal, aside from completing the category itself. So Idle making it through the final door, and we'll end up on the ship with an official race time of 39 minutes and 21 seconds to Andrew's 36 minutes and 41 seconds. Very solid GT Classic race by both of our runners. RBO definitely had its moments where it was really exciting, as Ridley proved to be just too much of a gatekeeper today for Idle, but a very, very great set of races. And Kai, I'm very glad that I was able to join you on commentary for this.
And Idle has joined us in the interview room, so
GG,
good races,
Idle.
Idle.
GG's.
So you really put up a really good fight. RBO, and unfortunately Ridley caught you today, but it was a really exciting race up until that point. You really held your own against a legend in the field. And GT Classic, I think, was a really good pick. Honestly, I don't know why I kind of expected you to pick Low Ice.
Yeah, I might have if it was early in the tournament, but I'm a little out of practice with it now. I haven't played it in a couple weeks, and the other thing that happened is that race against Dang, I've been doing really well at the Mothering fight, and then I get to that race against Dang, and then that finally cracked for me. I had like 3 or 4 reloads there, where like normally I would win that race, but that's just kind of been the tournament for me. Like, you take this RBO run, if you were to take like the RBO Lower North Air segment from my first RBO race and stick it into this one, or maybe take the Meridian from this one and stick it in the other one, I could have won either one of those races. Been more. I just couldn't quite put it together, but it's been fun to compete.
I mean, I was watching you in RBO. I think you forfeited the race in the exact same spot I forfeited in my race against Simo, and I had the exact kind of trouble on Ridley that you had. Killed Ridley several times, couldn't get in the claws just right, and just like, you get in that repetitive loop of, here we go again, power bomb, let's go farm,
I'm pretty sure at least one, if not 2 of those times he was dead, and you just decided that's the time he's
at least twice. One of
those times I did go for the claws pretty late. It's like, okay, fine, I can understand that one. But one of them, he like turned after like 2 pogos or something. I was like, what are you doing? Why?
Yeah,
maybe he wasn't dead that time. I don't know, but like I'm pretty sure he screwed me over with one of those turn at least once.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's part of the game. I mean, I'm sure, fortunately for foosda, didn't have as much trouble on Ridley as you did, and had a pretty clean RBO match. But it was really, really exciting, and honestly, this race was pretty great too. You definitely held your own against a legend in the game, and I do believe we are joined by foosda. So foosda, GG on the win, and great to see you race and finally getting one on stream for us, so we can see how rusty you really are. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean that's fair. It has been, I don't even know, a long time. I think I have, like you talked about, I have one PB that's less than 7 years old, so it's been a while. And
what inspires you to come back and join a tournament like this?
When I organized events, Super Metro community, it was always difficult to get people to do more esoteric or out there things than just any percent to 100%. So whenever I see an event that isn't those 2 things, I'll join it. Except for randomizer, I don't really care for randomizer, but that's about it.
Nice. I mean, I feel the same way. I'm feeling retirement looming right now, but I would definitely believe that a tournament like this in the future would be something that would coax me back from the retirement scene.
I mean, it's this game has so much to offer, and I get it. Any percent, 100%, those are the 2 categories that everyone loves to watch and see and do. But the cool things that you can see or learn from all the different categories. I mean, people learn new things here and there whenever you watch any of these races, right? People do crazy things, and it's so cool to watch and see. any percent, 100%, especially 100%. Nothing. I mean, there's new strats here and there, but
I feel like those are more scripted. These are more like, there's like an outline, and then you just try to follow the outline. Whereas Hundo and any percent are more like scripted runs.
Yeah, and I mean, you'd think that's what I like about these categories. You'd think I would like randomizer more, but it's something about it just rubs me the wrong way. But these categories, it's nice to just. I mean, you have a general idea of what you want to do, but no one in this game is that good at all of these categories that they can just always sweep every single other person. Not a single person can do that. So maybe there's a couple that have a chance to do that, but it's not always. So it's nice to get something different.
Yeah,
Well,
even
definitely
with
happy
these
to have
certain
you here.
categories, we're only scratching the surface. There's still a lot of other categories that you can do too.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a great deal of niche players right now in vanilla coming back, just falling more in love with the more esoteric side of Super Metroid.
Yeah. It's actually mind-blowing to me. What's this, 25 entrants in a multi-category tournament? I think the first one in like 2018 had like 12? I don't remember. There's so few. So it's nice to see things grow.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. So are you looking forward to this tiebreaker race? I don't know what category y'all could possibly be hoping for. But between you, Dang, and Kaizenton, you guys are all very, very well-rounded runners. So I have a feeling it'll be exciting regardless of which category is picked. I think more rather than what you want to be picked, I think more people are kind of like, well, here's what I don't want.
Yeah, I do not want 100%. That's pretty much it. It's just, I mean, every other category has some fun things in it for me. 100% is just a slog. It just feels like I've got lead boots in my feet, and I'm like, yeah, that's another item. That's another item. Right.
Yeah, once you get past wreck ship, all the volatility is gone. It's kind of like, well, there's, what am I going to do? Lose time? There's no really, major excitement point, I think, unless you're at that high level.
We should do 100%, but we turn the suits off.
I mean, I will get my vote, yes.
All right.
So back to the race, though. How do you feel about your race, though, versus Idle, and how this is preparing you for, hopefully, I'm sure you're hoping to make the bracket?
Well, I have not done any practice off stream. My races are just what I play through Metroid. I like. So that being said, I'm fairly satisfied with my movement in this GT Classic run, but it's always,
And
difficult.
when you don't play daily, it does a lot to your timing for sure.
Exactly. So there are things I'm like, well, I should not have messed that up, but I guess that's fine. So it's fine, but I just like to play. I don't need to win. That's not important to me. And it was a great race, Idle, so thank you.
Yeah, I was surprised you skipped that early E-Tank. It was pretty aggressive doing those wave hell runs with the...
No. If I hadn't broken spin, getting into wave, that would have been fine. But here we are, making mistakes.
Well, I mean, you made it. A second try is still... You made it work.
Yeah.
First try, I think if you had made that gap skip, I think you would have been able to pick up a drop from the viola and probably made it out. I would have given you a better than 50% chance.
Nah, those guys drop small energy, so I think even the gap skip was not quite enough to get out that first time.
The 30 energy entering that room, there's not really a chance. It's too low. It's maybe, I don't know.
Definitely awesome. It was really fun to watch, though. I don't know. RBO is a category I just feel like gets a bad rap as a race run because of how volatile it is, and sometimes the run excitement dies when you get, runners like me and Idle have had, all right, the Ridley, rewind. Um, but it is really exciting because most runners, even if they're getting the same items, don't always route them the same way, and it kind of makes for a very fascinating early game. There's this whole like calm before the storm, especially if you do a little dip in Meridia before you go to Lower Norfair, and it's just so exciting that even if somebody is definitively ahead at one point, the journey getting there was incredible, and the category itself offers so much to the eye that it's still a wonder to watch.
It's interesting to me to see max percent GT, right, and not a mandated route for RBO. I feel like that's mostly like a grandfathered in thing, where you're like, it's max percent GT, and there's definitely some things you can do to save an insane amount of time in that category that are really stupid and not race safe. But same with RBO. But I think it would be interesting to see
get exposure for the max GT category by restricting it to the easiest route, I guess, or the most standard route.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah, we should have restricted RBO, forced you to collect 30 supers before you enter Lower Norfair.
Oh, that's no fun.
I think that'd be honest. I think that'd be fun because, like I said, there's fun in watching people together. But at the same time, like, I honestly feel like there are very few people who can make 25 super consistent in a race setting. It's not easy to do. And people, I think, constantly underestimate how difficult it is to do in a race setting. Yes, you can do it consistently in runs, but in a race, 30 supers, I think, is the way to go.
I think that's fair.
35 supers before Lower Norfair. That's what I meant to say.
I just like going for the single Meridia too much that I always go for the 25 supers. But I get like 55 missiles and I get the Gauntlet tank. I try to get as much other stuff as I can.
Yeah, you had us worried in that GT fight, Idle, with all those missiles.
My issues with 25 Super Ridley fight have more to do with my lack of consistency in RBO in general, and not just Ridley. Although I do agree that if Ridley just decides to throw a terrible pattern, it can be pretty rough. In addition to, like, I'm slightly reliant on some good RNG from farming. I don't need that good of RNG farming before Ridley, but I need to avoid terrible RNG before farming.
I think you need to accept angle down for RBO. Or find a strat that lets you farm the bugs lower, because that's really hurting your energy there.
Yeah. It makes the Ridley fight tighter, but I just think if I just executed better. Like there was at least one Ridley fight that I had a good setup for, and then I just unmorphed poorly and bonked into Ridley. It's like that's 100% my fault. Like it wasn't like I lost all those fights because Ridley was a jerk every time.
Anyway, I think that's it for me, fellas. Thanks for commentating. Thanks for playing, and I'll see you all later.
Hey, thanks for racing. It was good to have you here. So, and I think that's good for me as well. Got to get back to my life here, but Idle, always good to see you racing. Kai, love coming with. Glad I got a chance to do comms with you, and I'll see y'all when I see y'all.
Yeah, appreciate you guys doing the commentary, and appreciate the admins for this tournament on. Hope we do more of these in the future. It's fun.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, and I'd also like to thank SpeedGaming for having a stream on their channel. And I'm glad to be in this tournament. And I'll see you next mission.